Because of the way we traveled and we were running this freedompreneur style lifestyle business, we were just like, oh, armbar and everything, we can be natural. And it was great because we were identifying ourselves as this traveling family, although the ones that were willing to spend a lot of money we were not attracting them. We were attracting the ones that just wanted a better life, but they certainly didn't want to pay for it. So we started to slowly see the shift. The moment that put on a bit more positioning with photo shoots and really caring about the look and the feel of your brand and just the way it's being perceived, the imagery of it all, is when we actually started to attract more clients, attract higher level, bigger payers. What I want to do is I want to go through and ask you guys a bit, like, what is your thoughts on people say PR, like, what do you think of it? Right? I mean, really, if you look at it, PR itself is either a press release or public relations, right? Mm-hmm. But in reality, if you think about PR, it's everything that we've been doing throughout the decades. In a defined definition, PR is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organizations and their publics, right? But in reality, in simple terms, it's just essentially us telling really great stories about what we do and earning the trust of others to gain more of a respect in our industry, right? That's what PR really should be doing. And everything you guys do on a daily basis creates that. I mean, Jobs was probably one of the best, wasn't he? Telling bigger and better stories, but creating such an impact and doing things that were so impressionable that makes people want to tell your story. See, that's the difference between when we go from being a company that just sells products and services to being a brand that has legacy, that's woven with a more in-depth storyline as to why it should be told. Have you ever seen people like they're, let's say they are featured in certain publications, or you've seen someone on stage tell and speak and tell this story, and you're like, wow, you're so involved. Where you're feeling the energy they've got. Like yesterday when I shared with you my story, that add to my credibility as to what I'm doing now. It does so much, especially when we engulf people into our into just our lifestyle as to why we're making this decision to build this business. It's such a different way to sell a product and a service than it is just to sell a product or service. To intertwine our storylines to it, this is when people start to fall in love. But now what do we do? Like, where did PR actually even start? So in reality, if you think about it, it started, back in the dawn of the ages, right? Who do we trust? We trust those that have something to say, that stand out, right, in front with the scrolls, right, back in the Egyptian times, and speak from our heart, or for Plato, Socrates, right, Aristotle, those that stand from the pantheon and just speak their truth. Like, right, the masses are like, you know everything. That's why stage talking is such a big deal when you're a company owner. It doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. So we talk so much about video and putting yourself out there is because when you're putting yourself out there, people actually listen, right? Or in the libraries, right? This is when it started. Now we started to put things into print, right? And started to put our words into books, into scrolls. I mean, if you think about the Catholic religion, probably one of the best and the biggest when it comes to PR or marketing, right? Just look what happened to the world with the Catholic religion. They went out and destroyed all other religions, and basically what? I think the Catholic religion even still is like 70 to 80%. The world is, been touched at least by the Catholic religion. Right, so we continue to go through. Now it's, of course, mass media. Then when we were, this is a lot of in American history, when in the Great Depression, companies actually started to use PR propaganda to get people to want to buy into their company or be part of it, or to see this is who I should be working with to lift up morale. So the more propaganda, the more things that have been coming in front of us, the more we start to believe what's in front of us. Right? And this is why all of you guys are here in marketing. Think about it. you have ads or you place ads because all we're trying to do is get someone to trust us a little bit more so they want to buy something from us. In reality, that's what we're doing, right? And that's what PR and propaganda has done. Did you guys know that in 2008, Obama for the United States was the first president that actually used social media for his campaign? Yeah, he was the first one that used. In fact, this is a lot of reason why people said this is why he ended up winning, right? Because the more visibility, the more credibility he had, the more options that we had for being able to share his content, share what he was talking about, is why more people learned about it. Yeah, I mean, influencer marketing now, I mean, this is kind of the newest stats, was that it'll be worth up to more than $15 billion in 2022. Hanalei, my daughter, she's got like 130,000 followers on Instagram, and she gets people like every day asking her to share or talk or cover her stuff, right? And it's really inexpensive. I didn't have the stat up here, but with an influencer marketer, you can spend about $250 to get a post or a share, someone that has high influence, like 500,000 plus, just to share your stuff. And it not only grows your following, but of course it does what celebrity endorsements do, which is like, I like your stuff, right? You should use it. It's worth tapping into because it is really good press, it's really good PR, really inexpensive and cheap marketing. And there's so many niches out there that you can tap easily into to have people start talking about your stuff. Hanalei, we gave away about $30,000 worth of clothing because she's a fashion designer in her first year of business, but she tapped well over 6 figures in that year. And at first it doesn't feel that it's as effective, but when someone is constantly wearing and sharing and putting it on Instagram, all of a sudden the feedback through is massive, right? Because you're not telling your story anymore. And that's the point. When someone like these YouTubers, my goodness, even now, I think advertising alone, just from the YouTube influencer market, has completely transformed the way people are buying. And I only started tapping in and learning more deeply about this because of Hanalei. She's like, there's no more television, right? They don't watch commercials anymore. There's Netflix, right? So how are we going to get our, material or information in front of these people? Well, it's through YouTubers.